What's going on, everyone? Zeph Moses Blacksburg from the Year of Purpose podcast. And if you're wondering which books you should be reading, here are my 15 top entrepreneurial books to check out this year. All right, so first off on the list, this is a classic, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Oh, and by the way, quick note, all the links for these books will be down in the description on YouTube. So if you want to be able to find them on Amazon, just click that link below and you'll be able to find these. But first one, Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's pretty much a classic. It's all about communication and really getting in touch with people, increasing your ability to get things done and become a much more persuasive communicator. So first book right there, Dale Carnegie. Second, next up, The Obstacle is the Way, The Timeless Art of Turning Trials into Triumph by Ryan Holiday. And he's also a best-selling author of Trust Me, I'm Lying. This is based on the timeless philosophical principles laid down by Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius and a rich trove of unexpected historical examples. The Obstacle is the Way presents an infinitely elastic formula for turning our toughest trials into our greatest triumphs. Once again, the links to all these below. This is just kind of pulling off my bookshelf here. Next one up, How the World Sees You by Sally Hogshead. Discover your highest value through the science of fascination. This is actually a really neat book because I like the way that it's laid out. There's some really good graphics in here, an awesome chart at the front of the 49 personality archetypes. So I really enjoyed this one as well. Next one coming up. This one I actually heard of at a conference, and I think this is a much older book that not too many people have heard of, but this is called The Success System That Never Fails by William Clement Stone. So this book is this is on my list. This is not one that I've read yet, but this is one that I've heard really good things about. And so the back says, the search for success has been prominent in the thoughts of countless millions from all walks of life. They yearn for fulfillment and desire to experience life's true riches. This goal is within each person's grasp as they discover those rules, principles, formulas, etc., which, if followed properly, will lead to the goal. During man's search, he acquires knowledge, gains experience, and becomes inspired. All steps to learning the secrets of success. In this book, the author shares from his own successful life the knowledge and experience which led to his discovery of the success system that never fails. So another one, this one's on my list. So I haven't read this one yet, but it's been recommended by a few people, and I heard about it at a conference, so I had to put that on the list. Next one up, you probably heard of this one before, The Millionaire Fastlane. Crack the Code to Wealth and Live Rich for a Lifetime. That's by MJ DeMarco. Here's just a quick little piece off the back. Have you been sold a 40-year financial lie? There's a fast lane to millions, a shortcut paved by mathematics where you can live rich now versus dying rich later. Instead, you've been brainwashed by an army of financial gurus who pitch a dream-killing dogma known as get rich slow. Their suffocating plan promises elderly riches by recklessly gambling your financial future to the stock market, the job market, and the housing market. Reject hope and pray as a financial plan. Switch lanes, go fast lane, and awaken your dreams to reality. So again, the Millionaire Fastlane, links to all these books are down in the section below this video in the description on YouTube. Next up, what do we have? This one, I was super excited when I got it. Basically, this is Hell Week, 7 Days to Be Your Best Self, and this is by Eric Bertrand Larson, an international best-selling author. And the back says, imagine your life as a straight line. Now imagine that you could break that line and leave behind all your regular habits and nagging doubts for just 7 days. Hell Week shows how you can change your life's path in a single week, replacing your old self with your best self by going through a specially tailored, safe, and ingenious version of the elite military exercise where participants are pushed to the limit to find out just how much they can take. Hell Week uses accessible tools and pragmatic, inspirational advice to inspire you to be the best you can be, to defeat limiting beliefs, and demonstrate that you are capable of far more than you ever thought, not just this week, but for the rest of your life. Hell Week, 7 days to be your best self. Next up, my man Gary Vee. So actually, for any of you guys that know me, I love Gary Vee. I've got my Vayner Nation bracelet thingy right there on my pen holder. Seen him speak twice, got to meet him in person once or twice. And this is the Ask Gary Vee book by Gary Vaynerchuk. One entrepreneur's take on leadership, social media, and self-awareness, and winning marketing, venture capital, arbitrage, digital media, influencers, company culture, startups, attention, content, management, empathy, legacy, parenting, family business, crushing, storytelling, thanking, jabbing, right hooking, hustling, and the New York Jets. Sorry, Gary, not a New York Jets fan, but still an amazing book. Good read. This is from essentially all the Ask Gary Vee episodes that Gary's done on YouTube. So if you like watching his stuff, if you've seen his videos on Facebook, this is content from all of those compiled together. And look, Casey Neistat on the back. Love that guy. All right, next up, The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. This is something that I've read and implemented myself. I love it. This is the not-so-obvious secret guaranteed to transform your life before 8 a.m. by best-selling author Hal Elrod. So Hal's awesome. He talks about his life savers in this book. Savers is his acronym that he uses for the different things that you should be doing with your morning. So, it's pretty obvious stuff. It's things like, S stands for scribing, E stands for exercise, things like that. But it's just all the things that, we always say we're going to do that we're going to be better at. He really kind of lays it out. And for those of you who think that you don't have enough time in the day, he takes his whole, it's like a roughly 1 hour routine for the morning, and he actually adopts it to like I think 6-minute program. So 6 minutes in your morning, you could do this entire thing. There's no question that you don't have the time to do that. Next one up, Mastering the Rockefeller Habits 2.0. This book is called Scaling Up, How a Few Companies Make It and Why the Rest Don't. That's by Vern Harnish and the team at Gazelles. This book has been recommended to me over and over and over again. I've seen so many people reading it to the point where as soon as my roommate came home and started reading it, I was like, okay, this has to get onto my list as well. Good book. Next up, Motivation Manifesto, 9 Declarations to Claim Your Personal Power. And this is by my buddy Brennan Burchard. I think this guy is awesome. I loved his podcast. I love his content even more. And I actually have his one of his High Performance Academy programs that I'm looking forward to going through. So this one, once again, will be linked to down in the description on the bottom. Another excellent book. Anthony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within. How to take immediate control of your mental, emotional, physical, and financial destiny. This is a huge best-selling book, sold millions of copies, but I have to say, do not be intimidated by this book. Some of them, let's just show these side by side. Some of these books are a lot tinier. Do not be intimidated by the length of this book because it's all pure gold. It's a little over 500 pages, but I still think this is quite possibly one of the best books that you could invest in. Next up, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, What the Rich Teach Their Kids About Money That the Poor and Middle Class Do Not. Great little book. This guy is all about exploding the myth that you need to earn a high income to become rich. It's going to challenge the belief that your house is an asset. It's going to show parents why they can't rely on the school system to teach their kids about money. It's going to define once and for all an asset and a liability, and then teach you what to teach your kids about money for their financial future and success. So again, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, linked below in the YouTube description. Next up, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, an amazing bestseller. This thing has withstood the test of time, and I just think that this is a fantastic read for any entrepreneur. It's almost like required reading. So if there's any one required read, this is like every entrepreneur must read if you have not read that. The One Thing, The Surprisingly Simple Truth Behind Extraordinary Results by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. #1 Wall Street Journal bestseller. I really like this. It really just gets you to focus on, what is your one thing instead of spreading yourself out in so many different directions, which is something that I'm pretty bad at doing because I do quite a lot and probably more than I should. But it's a really great reminder that you should not be spreading yourself as thin as you tend to do. And then last but not least, this is a new one that I just got. Redirect, Changing the Stories That We Live by Timothy Wilson. And this book, it just kind of read the back for you. What if there were a magic pill that can make you happier, turn you into a better parent, solve your teenagers' behavior problems, reduce racial prejudice, and close the achievement gap in education? Well, there is no such pill, but there is a new scientifically based approach called story editing that can accomplish all of this. Sounds familiar. Did we maybe talk a little bit about story editing in Life Rescripted by me? Yeah. We tell ourselves stories to make sense of the world, and these stories have immense power to shape the course of our lives and the people we become. In this acclaimed book, the world-renowned psychologist Timothy Wilson shows us how to redirect these narratives with subtle prompts in ways that lead to lasting change. He also blows the whistle on the many existing approaches, from the multi-billion-dollar self-help industry to programs that discourage drug use and drinking, that are either ineffective or outright harmful, in many cases because they fail to redirect individual stories in positive ways. Fascinating, groundbreaking, and practical, Redirect demonstrates the remarkable power small changes can have on the ways we see ourselves and the world around us, and how we can use these perspectives on a daily basis. So Redirect, Timothy Wilson. Last one up on the list, but of course, I had to give a shout out to Life Rescripted, my book, also available on Amazon. We'll link that in the links below. So these are my 15 top entrepreneurial books that I recommend for any entrepreneur to read. If you're sitting there wondering what book should I read, it's going into the winter time, it's getting a bit colder, maybe it's going into the summertime where you're at, and you want to spend some time outside enjoying a book. These are my top 15 books that I recommend, and you'll find them all below. My name is Zephan Blacksburg. Thank you so much for checking out my top 15 entrepreneurial books, plus one bonus. I get it. I can count. I'll see you guys next time.